My name is Panken. I graduated in 2020 from Food Non-Food. My project is called Type of Thought, and Type of Thought is about how our language alters our worldview. So depending on what language I speak, I'm a slightly different person. In Dutch, Marie is just a little bit different from how she is in English. The spoken language influences our thoughts and the way those thoughts are structured. And it's interesting to see that the keyboard, this tool that we use almost every day to communicate with ourselves, with others, and also with our computer, has an impact on something so personal and fundamental as our thinking. But when you look at the design of the keyboard, this has hardly changed since the invention of the typewriter, which was in 1867. Even this sheet of white paper still lies on our screens. And to me this is something really absurd, because in the digital world we're no longer bound to these limitations. So any action can be recognized as a letter. So the keyboard, I basically look at the keyboard as this set of rules within which we can type and think. And what Type of Thought did was that I designed 4 new keyboards that influence your thinking in 4 different ways. So we have the cubistic keyboard, which completely sabotages your linear thinking and moves you all over the place. It adds words and it shifts your perspective constantly. Then we have the minimalistic keyboard. The minimalistic keyboard is a super frustrating keyboard where you have to press the button for a full second in order to activate it, and your hands are aching to move on, but you have to wait. And because of this, it kind of reverses that normally we can type faster than we can think, and now we have to wait with the typing. Our thoughts have to wait for our hands. But it makes the text really condensed and to the point. The impressionistic keyboard is made for a stream of consciousness. So there's no corrections, you can only move forward in the text, and your hands slide over the surface, and when you lift them, a space is made. And then lastly we have the pop art keyboard, and this keyboard, there's only 3 keys left: Control, C and V. So you can copy paste your way through the internet, because we don't need to actually write anymore to be writers. Yes, so depending on your aim, if you want to find a new perspective, cut through to the essence, make new connections, or let your mind run free, you switch the tool depending on what your aim is. So time after graduation, I think it's for everybody a bit of a weird time, as maybe it was more weird because we were deep in COVID. But what I used the last year for was really to see at Design Academy we learned how to make a design project. And the last year I wanted to see, okay, but how does that work in the working world? Like, what are the other facets of being a designer besides making the project itself? So I did this by really looking backstage, working for an artist, building up works with him, going to the gallery, going to the curator, being part of an exhibition team, just trying to see all the other roles that are within design. And besides that, seeing to develop how do you get the funding actually to continue the project that you really wanna make and make it something real. So that's things I've done. This was definitely time. Time is super short. It's half a year for 2 projects with the research, the execution, and then the presentation. So this was the hardest part for sure. And the biggest achievement, I graduated with a very technical project, and I was not a technical person at all before I started that. So to be actually able to realize that you can just open up any machine, any device, and see what is actually going on, and start to really understand what it is that's going on, how you can manipulate it. That was really a good experience. As far as design, I've really enjoyed working with language and working with language transforming into digital space. So my dream would be to continue on this topic. The project I present now, Type of Thought, is the one I find most interesting now. Yeah, but my dream is to really make a practice based on language, digital language, and have a design practice in that. Yeah. These 4 keyboards that I have now, it's the first keyboards I've made. And they're like a tasting palette, you know, like, oh, we can do different things. It doesn't have to be the QWERTY 100 years old thing. But it's only 4 options, and it's not that I'm saying these are the ones. So I would love to develop that more, make a lot more keyboards, go very wide, make crazy keyboards, and then come back to make something maybe which you can actually implement at home. Yeah.